Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Zoe, your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Good morning, good morning. How y'all doing? How y'all doing in the cafe? Are you ready for some hot and steamy conversation this morning? What you drinking on? What you sipping on? Caramel macchiato? That's my favorite beverage right there. That's how I get my day started. Hot and steamy.
My mother and I had a fantastic relationship.
This is Steven, and I just wanted to share.
You should always be in a place where you're celebrated. Life is too short to stay somewhere and tolerate it.
If you cannot help a person, don't hurt them, especially with women. Always just whole essence is to bring out the best in other people.
Something that touches other people, and that's what your show does. It doesn't. It's not just conversation as you started. It actually has a purpose.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday and welcome to Coffee Talk with Soy, your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. It's your girl Soy bringing you stimulating conversation to the Brew Nation. It's always a joyous occasion here in the cafe. Think on it, drink on it, let's talk now. If soy means I am, therefore you are bold, beautiful, intelligent, amazing, and leaving your insecurities and inabilities to be tested, then rested while you have real talk with Soy. Welcome to the cafe, y'all, where you can always come on in and unapologetically be you, be you, be you. Good morning, good morning. All right, y'all, I want to say happy Saturday. I want to say happy birthday. I got a couple of special people that I must give a birthday shout out to, or I'm going to have some problems, and I don't want no problems. So let me say happy birthday to my girlfriend, Rebecca Green, celebrating her birthday. Also, Shanita Johnson, she's celebrating her 50th, so shout out to her. And also all the other Aquarians and Capricorns are celebrating their birthday this month. I have a family, we have a family chat group, and I think like every other day we've been celebrating someone in our family having a birthday this month. So to all of my family members, I love you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. My mom's birthday, may she rest in peace, was on the 18th. So happy heavenly birthday to her. Always keeping her in my heart and missing her dearly. So happy birthday to her and my brother, who also has a birthday at the end of this month. But for all of you who kicking it off in 2021, doing something great, being you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bree Pinkley Wade, my good girlfriend out of Cleveland. Happy birthday to her as well. So happy birthday, y'all. Try and do something spectacular. I know we're still in this pandemic, but you can find a way to celebrate yourself. Y'all know how I feel about birthdays, and I think that anytime you can celebrate who you are, do that as often as you need to. So keep it legal, though. Keep it legal. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! All right, so y'all tuning in on Facebook and Twitch and Instagram and all those other social media tags that we got going on. Share the feed with someone. We want everyone to get the benefit of these conversations that we do here on Coffee Talk with Soy. So do bring somebody in, bring somebody with you. It's enough room in here for all of us. So bring someone in with you. Tell me where you are tuning in from and what you're sipping on. Always drop that in the feed. So where are you tuning in from and what are you sipping on? What you sipping on now? All right, y'all, we're going to go to our, I've been doing this little thing where I do this espresso shout out. And so my espresso shout out today in honor of our Vice President of the United States, okay, in honor of our Chucks and Pearls. My espresso shout out today goes to women in leadership. Women in leadership, I'm lifting you up, shouting out to you because it's possible. As we can see, it's possible. And we've been doing it. We've been doing it corporately. We've been doing it in our own businesses, and we're doing it in politics. And we've finally done it in one of the highest positions of the land. So in honor of our Vice President, Kamala Harris, I'm lifting up women in leaderships because we don't do drama, right? We do business. We don't do drama, we do business. So shout out to my women in leadership. May you continue to soar as high as your wings will take you, and may God bless you along the way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the support that I get from other women as well in leadership. I've been climbing climbing the ropes for some time, and we can't forget about those who help us to get to where we are, those who've disciplined us, those who've counseled us, those who have encouraged us and worked with us and led us and pushed us. So we don't always get there by ourselves. It's always a village. And y'all be thankful and show appreciation for those who have helped you along the way. So shout out to women in leadership. In leadership. All right, so I am happy about our conversation that we have starting today. Let me tell you a little bit about the guest who's in the cafe with me today. Okay, y'all get ready for this, right? Y'all get ready for this phenomenal woman. All right, so Lisa Santiago McNeil is in the cafe with me this morning, and this woman who was actually born and raised in New York, right? She lives in Charlotte with her amazing husband, Brian K. McNeil, who is has been a part of her journey, and they're going to actually be on the show next month. So y'all get ready for them. A phenomenal couple doing some amazing things. Will be back in the cafe with me. But this morning, I have the honor of having Lisa here with me in the studio. Lisa is a mother, a friend, a sister, an actor, an author, a radio personality as well, a public speaker, a preacher, a mentor, a businesswoman, and a certified master trainer. What else has this woman not done, right? Her life experiences has taught her, according to her, that everything is possible. Everything is possible. And given what she's done, what she's doing, she also has a women empowerment network group where she brings women together and support and encourage them. And with that being said, I have asked Lisa to join me in the cafe this morning for this conversation that we're going to have. This conversation that we're going to have about friendship. So let's welcome to the cafe. Y'all show her some love. Show her some love as we entertain Miss Lisa Santiago McNeil. Good morning, Diva. How are you?
Good morning, Grand Diva. How are you? I am good. Good. Coming to you live from the mountaintop, honey.
I heard that from the mountaintop. What you doing on the mountain, Lisa? Are you physically on the mountain?
I am up on the mountains. I am in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee this weekend, just enjoying the mountains and some friends and having some relaxation, and it's so beautiful.
Oh, that's one of my favorite places, Pigeon Forge. So enjoy that. Oh my God! So that means that you're really in tune. You got your coffee in hand. What you sipping on this morning?
I'm sipping on orange juice.
Okay.
I'm sipping on orange juice and water.
Vitamin C, some good old vitamin C. Okay, so you're gonna be ready for this. You're on the mountaintop. You're in tune with your chakras, as my daughter always say. And you're ready to share. You're ready to share.
Yes. We actually started sharing, as I was telling some of my cabin mates about the show. Hopefully they're tuned in already downstairs. I let them know what we were going to be talking about, and all the ladies were like, "Oh my God, yes, oh my God, yes."
We need this, right? And we need to be able to talk about it in a healthy environment, right? Because a lot of times we don't talk about the issues until they happen, right? We don't talk about it until they happen, and then most times, Lisa, I've learned that we don't even talk about it. So people have these issues with each other. And they don't even talk about it. They're not having communication about what happened, and the relationships are destroyed. So I wanted you to be a part of this conversation based on your relationship with women. I feel you have a lot to share, and I'm thankful that you accepted the invitation. So thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. I love it. Let's get it in.
All right, let's get it in. So, Lisa, I started doing some research on this friendship pyramid, right? And
Hmm.
basically, what is shared was that there are different levels to friendship, and
Hmm.
I figured that if we would kick off the conversation, just sharing our feedback of whether we agree or disagree that there are different levels to friendship, then we can start to kind of break down maybe why some of the issues or things come about because maybe we got people in categories that they shouldn't be in. Maybe we didn't
Come
pull
on.
people in and put them in the BFF category or exposing them to so much of our lives, personally, professionally, or that sort of thing. And maybe they haven't earned
They hadn't earned it.
trust.
Wow. Yes.
What you think about that?
Yeah. First of all, yes, yes, and yes, absolutely. Um, as I evaluate how I defined friendships throughout my life, I realized around in my 40s, I'm in my early 50s now. I realized around in my early 40s that I was misclassifying, honey. I was just
Mm.
elevating people to positions of greatness, authority, and all kinds of access in my life that they just walked in off the street into. And because of that, of course, there was some dire impact. Everybody doesn't respect the access you've given them, particularly if you've given it to them inappropriately. So there's no blame to had by anyone except for the assignee. So I had to look in the mirror at myself and say, well, wait a minute, why was there no lock on my door
Mm.
in as it relates to friendship?
Mm.
Why was it just an open access? And matter of fact, it wasn't even friends. You walked in off the street as my family. Like that was the way I thought. You walked in as my family. I could have just met you, just learned your name, and I embraced and offered you everything I had.
Why do you
Now, of
think you
course,
did that, Lisa? Why did you
oh, I
think you
know
did
why I
that?
did that.
Why?
I know why I did that. I did that because I didn't have family growing up.
Mm.
I was actually a runaway, and so that I was always looking to create a family unit. And so I was filling that with people who didn't necessarily earn that space. I was also looking for, what's the word? Looking for acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
probably. Looking for love, you know, looking for a family unit. And because I didn't have a strong family unit in the formative years of my life,
Mm-hmm.
I misdefined what that should look like. I didn't have a healthy family unit. Now I had family, I didn't have a healthy family unit. And so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. Sounds like validation. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Validation,
Mm-hmm.
community,
Mm-hmm.
acceptance, which is why I try to make sure now that when I'm counseling younger women, I try to help them to really see as early on as they could self worth. Because when you have not properly acknowledged your own value or you devalue it, I mean, how is people treat you the way you see you're willing to be treated? And I had a very low valuation placed on my life when I was younger, when I was a lot younger, and I think I carried that with me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good thing you've come out of it and you've learned that. Sometimes we learn these lessons the hard way. I know
Hmm.
I know one place that comes to mind where people tend to let their guards down and begin to cross these lines as we're talking about. Is in the workplace when you
Hmm.
spend so much time working, you spend so much time in that place, and especially when you work in close proximity to someone, you begin to share certain things, and they may become visible to certain things about you. Whether you've had a bad day, you come in with a chip on your shoulder, you sit close together, so you begin to share, you begin to talk more. And sometimes we confuse that common conversation with quality conversation, and we begin to share things that we probably should not share, that kind of gets out in the workplace, and then you wish you could have just kind of pulled it back in. So that's a place that I know I fall and prey to that as well, just sharing things that I probably should not have shared based on not having people available to talk to about an emotional situation. So I just want to throw that out there and motion people to be careful about that.
Yeah. I absolutely can see that. I was fortunate. I haven't been in corporate for about 10 years or maybe a bit more, but prior to that, I was fortunate to really have had a true family unit at work. Like, honestly, we're still in touch now, even though we're, all of us have long since gone and moved on. But like almost the entire team was truly, was truly had each other's best interests at heart. And you don't see that. And you're absolutely right there. Sometimes familiarity is a false sense of camaraderie, or a false sense of family or friends or whatever, just because you're around them all the time or you see them all the time. And so there is room for being conscientious with those relationships, particularly at work. What Grandma used to see, she used to say, don't poop where you work.
That's exactly. Grandma was right. Grandma was right. Grandma was
yes,
right. Yeah,
Lord.
Yeah.
So,
they ain't loyal. They ain't loyal.
Usually they're not. This is the doggy dog world. But yeah, absolutely.
So I think that I think that there are layers to friendships, and that the pyramid is definitely accurate, and that you have people that you associate with as your associates, and then you have people that you may work with or entertain for specific reasons. Before we go to church, we have people that we fellowship with at church, and once you're there, that's your best friend at church. Or you have these BFFs at work, so we go to these weekly or monthly establishments, and in that place, we have people that we communicate with regularly, but definitely value that, treasure that, y'all, but don't get that confused with what a best friend or a close friend is, just because you frequent that place constantly. So just be careful about that. Be careful about that.
Absolutely. I think so. I think it's I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate. I think I'm still tenderhearted about it, because I honestly entered into every friendship that I could ever remember with the best of intentions. And I think any time that it didn't go the way that I think I would have hoped for, I think every time I was caught off guard early on. I don't have any new friendships now. I think right now I have most of the people that are in my life, I have, they've already been tried by the fire. But every single friendship that did not pan out the way that I had hoped, it left a broken place. It definitely left a broken place.
I'm gonna put a pin in that, because I want to talk about those broken places, and I want to share a broken place of my own. So I'm gonna put a pin in that, so we can come back, because as a counselor, I want to ask you a question about my broken place, to just kind of test that. But my producer is nudging me that we have to go in for a quick break. So y'all give us a few seconds to run this advertisement, and we'll be right back to talk about broken places. Have you heard? Sponsorships are requested. Coffee Talk with Soy is looking for dynamic entrepreneurs like yourself. If you're motivated, energetic with a message or product, consider advertising with us.
It's a win-win. For more information on those advertising and sponsorship packages, visit the website Coffee Talk with Soy or call me at 515-I-GOT-SOY. And again, that's 515-I-GOT-SOY.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the cafe, y'all. We're talking about friendships. Good morning to Simone Jakes tuning in from Facebook. Good morning to Lynn John. Peace to you as well. And we have some questions that we're going to try and get to at the end of the show. So if anyone have any questions or comments or things they want to share, put them in the chat, and we'll try and get them on the air. Okay. All right, so before we break, we were getting into, we defined what these boundaries are in friendships. We defined that there are different layers. And while we frequent different places, Lisa has urged us not to confuse that with a deep friendship where you begin to share certain things. But Lisa, I want to say this. I believe that I am a friend, right? As we talked about, we have people that we've only known for a short period of time and people that we've known a lifelong time. And you may have established a relationship with these people that you've known the longest. But I believe that for anyone who have known me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 years, I believe I'm a trustworthy person. You know, like I don't tell secrets. I don't I don't tell secrets. I don't lie to people. I don't stab people in the back, you know. Not that I'm a perfect person. I have my issues too. But in terms of being a friend, right? Being a friend, being a confidant, someone that a person can be trusted, I feel that I am that person. And I believe because of that, it's easier for me to make friends because generally in my heart, I'm a trustworthy person. Honestly, it's a big deal for me.
I don't disagree with that. That I think the Word of God tells us that to find a friend, show yourself friendly. So definitely, if you got that down pat, that's good. I don't say that I wouldn't consider a person a friend using that label that I had just met. But as far in the loose term, the loose definition of friends, I would definitely, I've never met a stranger. I can't even go to the supermarket. My husband won't even go inside the supermarket with me because there's no way I'm going to get in and out of there without talking to somebody and maybe even stopping in the aisle and praying with somebody or whatever, you know. But by the same token, there is, because of experience has taught me that even within that word friend, there has to be some degrees or classification that people have to earn their way into or out of. Yeah, it used to be out of. It used to be more out of. Now it's more into. When I say out of, it means that you were granted this access, you were granted this level of acceptance, and then you did something to otherwise they don't, they in the wrong category. Let's go ahead and put them in another category. So now I think at this stage of my life, instead of earning your way out of a category, you more so have to earn your way into a category. And it's not to say I'm so important that a person will be sitting around trying to be, a higher classification of friendship. I just mean as far as even what I am willing to risk in my relationship.
I think generally, I think that's a fair and valid point. I think generally your communication with a person, because I think communication is definitely the foundation to whatever friendship you have with someone. It's because you communicate with them. It's the communication with them that allows you to open these doors or to give them these access. Is what they say to you. It's how they treat you that you feel that, you know what, she's been good. And then you start to do more things together. You begin to share more things together. And then you find that you are at this place with these people based on your relationships with them. So I believe That's fair, accurate, and true.
Mm.
True.
Mm. Mm.
So with all these things said, then where does the breakdown happen with friendships? How do you? Is it true that we outgrow friendships?
Mm-hmm.
You believe we outgrow friendships?
Oh yeah, you are for
Yeah,
friendship.
we outgrow friendships.
You can continue to consider a person a friend and love them and wish only good things for them, but have moved to a place where
Mm-hmm.
some of those things that you had in common you don't anymore. Um, some of those either aspirations or even positions or commonalities. There are different degrees. I have people that I would still consider friends. I would consider them even family because of how we formed our kinship. They're never going to lose that place. But where I am now doesn't interest them, and potentially, possibly where they are now doesn't interest me. That doesn't mean that the friendship is severed. That just means that it's in a different classification, it's in a different place.
Why do you think we feel bad about that, Lisa? Like when that happens, we
Mhm.
tend to feel some kind of remorse, or we feel guilty about that. Why do you think that
Yeah.
is?
Well, I don't. I don't feel guilty about it, but I understand why we can. I think it's because um, I think I think personally that it's because we almost ascribe a difference of opinion as it relates to what's important in life to you versus what's important in life to me, creates a sort of caste system. A caste system that means that someone thinks one person is better than another person. Maybe if I give you an example, it'll be better.
Okay.
I have some amazing friends who are phenomenal mothers and wonderful grandmothers, and that is the crux of their life's aspiration. I think that's wonderful for them. I think that's wonderful for them. But it would have not been wonderful for me. That was not my aspiration. And in turn, my aspiration to be a successful 7-figure business owner. I mean, that's like my goal. I'm not saying that as if that's who I am now. I'm saying that that's my goal. That seems to create a divide in even the things that we talk about. You're going to call me and tell me about little Johnny and his first steps, and I'm happy. I can hear it the first time, but I've got a business meeting to go to. I've got something to plan. I've got something to do, whatever. And then it seems as if I'm dismissing what is going on in your life. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm in love and support of that, and I'm glad that you're happy there. But I also have some things that I'm charged with, and when I begin to talk about some of those things to some people, this is not a blanket statement. So, well, girl, go ahead and do your business thing. I'm going on, and never even looking to understand the world that I'm in. And I've learned that it's okay. It's okay. It just causes sort of a plateau, if you will, of where our friendship can grow. It causes a plateau. We're losing some of this thing. I mean, why do people become friends anyway? Like you said, we're in the same place at the same time often. We have common interests. Those are the things. So when you get to a place in your life where your interests are veering off in different directions, I think that can have a challenge on it. But the true friends, and I'm going back again to these different classifications, I may not talk to you every day. I may not talk to you every week, every month. But when the moment comes in that season where that person reaches out or I reach out to them, we can celebrate where we are individually, love where we are individually, and connect like we never left off.
Yeah, and that sounds like that's going to take a lot of a lot of maturity for people. Well, we're thankful for our guests that are tuning in, and we're going to go with and share our first question. So here is a question we have that's presented to Lisa and I, and I'll read that. And so the question is, Lisa, I have something to share with a friend. It's not my fault, but it's not pleasant. How should I tell her this? How do you have that difficult conversation? It sounds like what I would share, and then I'll let Lisa share her piece. I would probably if I had something difficult to share with a friend, I would probably want to have the conversation in a neutral place. I probably wouldn't do it over the phone. I definitely wouldn't text it. Wouldn't do it over the phone. Wouldn't do it at my house or her house. I probably would have it in a neutral place where we could hear each other and feel each other. So maybe dinner is a good place, because when you have, if you're in a surrounding where you're forced to behave yourself, it may help you to focus on getting it out, where a person just can't storm out and leave and that kind of thing. So I would probably try and have that conversation in a place where we're forced to be mature, have the conversation. So that's probably why I would start. I would probably, my comment would be to make note of where you have it and make sure that the place is conducive for the conversation.
Absolutely. I agree with all those things. And I would add to it, check your motive. Check your motive. It may be important to you. Why is it important to you to share this thing with that person? And why is it important? Is it just because you
can't live with what you've done and you want to get it out? Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So check your motive. Check your motive, and prepare the person for what you're going to say, and prepare to be wrong. Prepare the person for what you're going to say and prepare to be wrong, even if you have to phrase it like that. Listen, this has been on my heart. I've been praying about it. I really think it's important that you know it. This is how I see this situation, and forgive me if I am wrong, but I wanted you to have all the information so that you can make your own decision about how you protect yourself or how you manage it from here on. And then tell them. And then be willing to accept if they disagree.
Okay. All right. And
I'm getting
also
some feedback.
And also I hear that there is you should be willing to accept the consequences of talking about it. So
that part.
Yeah. So someone put that in as well. So,
absolutely. I don't know why people think that just because you have the right to say whatever's in your mind, you can't. You have the right to free speech all you want, but you get every ounce of free consequence that goes along with it.
All right, here's another question we have, Lisa. So my friend's child has been very disrespectful towards me. I corrected him, and although my friend said nothing, I can tell she's upset about it. She's been standoffish and quiet. Should I approach her and bring this up, or should I wait for her?
You want to answer first? Go ahead.
I answer first, the last one, so I'll be courteous and then extend it to you.
Okay.
Since I'm still gathering my thoughts.
So in the first place, you may have misevaluated your position in that particular friendship to correct someone else's child. If that is the case, and you are now seeing her responding to you kind of in some kind of way, then it is going to be up to you to fall on that sword and say, girl, I know little Rakeem was acting out and I snapped at him. And I know that that was not my place, and I apologize. But when children behave like that around me, sometimes I don't catch my reflexes. And I apologize. I meant no disrespect to you. And I know that that was your child, and I'm sorry. And then you need to reevaluate whether or not you want to be around your friend and little Raheem at the same time.
So
Because
I see. I see that. I think now. So now we don't have much to go on the age of the child, what the behavior was, but she said it was disrespectful towards her. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, if your child is disrespectful towards me and you don't say nothing, I'm going to say something. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. And not only am I that, because you know what, my child is not going to disrespect nobody. You ain't gonna have to. My family have just been a stickler for children, being in a certain place, and so when kids speak, and now I don't know if this person meant they emphasize nothing, they capitalize nothing, so they emphasize a few words, so we don't really know what that behavior was. But when you talk about being disrespectful to adults, I don't tolerate that at all with my children. I never raised them like that. I wasn't raised like that. Even at 53 years old, I don't even talk back to 80-year-old women and men and my seniors. I respect them. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. And whatever they say, go. And I just kind of get out the way, but that's how I've been raised. And that's how I raised my children. So I know that some people now with these children, that we got these 10 and 12-year-old kids and 15-year-old kids that run the house. And the parents have no control over them. And so when they get around other adults, they are adults because that's how they manage their house. I don't know to what extent that is, but I'm gonna say to all of you parents out there, we need to get back to having our children to respect adults. Because when they don't respect you and your household, let me tell you what happened. They don't respect the police officer. They don't respect their teachers. You understand what I'm saying? When they can't work and get along with people, a lot of times the kids who don't respect authority don't respect other people. And somehow it's this myth that you live in a world with other people. So it's not always your way. And sometimes our kids lose sight of this when there's a lack of respect. So I would say, if you corrected little Johnny or Bobby by communicating with them, Bobby, that's not right. You shouldn't kick women, or that's not right. You shouldn't talk. You shouldn't use profanity. You should be able to have this conversation. Now, the way my best friend and I are, we discipline each other's kids like they our own, because that's the kind of love we have for them. And even in my family, we discipline each other's kids in our family because that's just how it is with us. So if this is your best friend or a close friend, and you had a conversation with the child, then listen, I don't know how you bring that up with her, because I'm thinking as a friendship, that would have already been established,
Yeah, but that's why I said in the beginning that someone misevaluated that friendship. That's why I said in the beginning that you thought that you had the quote unquote sister to sister relationship where, my sister can correct my child, I'll correct my sister's child. It's just like that. But it wasn't. That was a mistake in the assessment of that friendship. And also, oftentimes, we don't know. And I understand, please know that I don't disagree with anything that you said about children respecting whatever, all of those things, but we don't always know what happened. We don't always know what caused this type of behavior. We don't always know why the parent may be more passive in this particular case than not. We don't always know. And so that's why I think it's so important to know where you stand in a relationship. And as far as what you said, where if they do something disrespectful around me, I'm not going to take it.
She said to you. It's to you, not they did. No. They're to you. They did it to you.
I'm talking about what you said. Yeah, I know. I know what you said. But then you said any child around me who does anything disrespectful, I'm going to check them. If the parent doesn't check them, I'm going to check them.
If they disrespect me,
right.
To me. Yeah.
Yes, you're going to check them. Yeah. I probably wouldn't. but I also probably would not be around someone's children. Like, I go out of my way not to be around. My husband was fussing at me a couple of years ago. Like, I prefer not to have children around. I met a young lady, and she was very nice. We were talking, we were getting along, and I found out that she had an 18-month-old child, and I decided that we could not be friends because that's not in my purview for my lifestyle. I don't want a friend that I have to worry about, is she going to be able to go because she has childcare, or is she going to have to bring that baby with her? My kids are grown now. I don't want to deal with nobody's kids. I only want to deal with my grandchildren on their classified weekends. That's it. So this is not necessarily going to be an issue that I'm going to come up against. But for that sister, I definitely say, you know, I wouldn't want anybody to get disrespected by any child at all. But if the mother is giving you the side eye since that happened, you thought y'all were closer and that this was permissible, and she don't agree.
That's a sad thing. All right, I got two quick comments, and then we're going to read our last question. So the next comment is, this came from our producer, and he says, and back in the day, communities corrected all the community kids, and it was accepted and expected. My mama told my friends' parents, if you see Melvin cutting up, get him and let me know. And I'm sure we all can relate to that. That was from him. And I just thought about this while after my comment. My daughter, who is 30, she's 29, she one time was employed with one of my girlfriends who was her boss, who was her manager. And they had there was an issue with a meeting that she had with my daughter, in that she left the meeting thinking my daughter was being disrespectful to her by the way she communicated with her. You know, I talked to my daughter. You know, I talked to my daughter, and when she, you know, long story short, my point is, you can express yourself without being disrespectful. Although she is your boss and your manager, she hired you, she's my friend, you need to circle back and go back and revisit this conversation with her and make it right. Because I didn't raise you to talk like that. That's what I told my own child, and we know our children. You know what I mean? We know our children. You know, sometimes you got that little child who kind of a little sassy, and they do it to you. You know what I mean? But again, it's parenting your children and teaching them right from wrong and making them better people. So because our children can't talk to the pastor like that, our children can't talk to the judge like that. So there are times when we all have to adjust ourselves depending on who we're communicating with, and they just have to learn. You have to adjust. You can't always come out your mouth like that talking to people. There are consequences, and that's what being adult is. You have to deal with the consequences. But yeah, so I circle back and say, hey, I heard about this conversation. I'm not happy with it. You need to go back and apologize, and you need to fix that. You can say what you got to say, but all that attitude and all that, no. I didn't raise you to talk to people like that, to adults like that. So anyway, enough of that. So thank you for your question. Thank you for trusting us for comment. I hope that we've given you some things to think about and ponder over to figure out how you can approach that. I'm wishing you well on that. And I'm going to share this last question, and then we'll share our last notes on this. But here's the next question, Lisa. My friend wants to start a business together. I'm not open to this because I fear it could ruin our friendship, and I don't want to lose her as a friend. Should I choose friendship over money? How should I share this with her?
Keep it separate. If you already have some thoughts that it's not going to be a good thing, keep it separate. Just keep it separate. Now, there are ways that you can work together in business, but each business be independent of the other, meaning that you may, let's say you pick something that you guys wanted to do, but each person has your own lane. So let's say if it has something to do with events, and one person would decide, okay, they'll handle the venue and the decorations, and the other one will handle the food and the whatever. Then you each have your individual businesses. Keep them separate. Like you run your part if you're catering, you run that part. If you're logistics, you run that part. And the responsibility for the customer will get the full package with each one of you doing your individual part. Because that way, when and if the time comes that you have to separate, you're not dividing up money, you're not dividing up assets, you're not dividing up responsibility. At most, you'll be dividing up customers, but it will allow you to have a cleaner break. Because going into business is just like going into marriage. It's difficult to unwind or unravel a marriage once it's intertwined from, assets and stuff like that.
And nothing's worse than losing a good friend over something that could have been avoided or prevented. As we know, most times friendships fall apart because of a lack of communication. And sometimes we don't have those difficult conversations we need to have to be so that we can be honest about how we feel, to be honest about our expectations, and then hopefully we can have better friendships and better relationships. So.
Yeah, and if you decide to go forward with it, go ahead and create your exit strategy at the beginning while you guys are still friends. Sort of think of it as your prenup for your business.
Okay.
So that it's easier to enter into an agreement. I mean, it's difficult enough to enter into agreement when you like each other.
Yeah.
Now think about entering into an agreement and everybody agreeing on the same stuff when you don't like each other anymore. So get that stuff documented at the beginning, at the forefront, while there is no money, while there is no hard will, while, in the beginning, who's responsible for what. And then also it's going to be important to clearly define the valuations on each role.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's so easily misunderstood. One person, just using an example of a baking business, right? And one partner is really good at baking, and the other partner is really good at marketing. Well, the one that's in the kitchen feel like she's doing all the work, and the one that's on the internet, on the social media, feel like she's doing all the work. And it's real easy to look over and say, you wouldn't have no customers to bake for if I wasn't out here getting this social media. And then the other person in the kitchen, you wouldn't have nothing to social media if I wasn't in here baking this cake. You've got to find a way to define the valuation that you are bringing to the table so that it is respected from the beginning.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And if you want more insight on going into business with your best friend or with a friend, then tune in when Lisa returns back to the show with her husband, who is also her business partner, and they're going to talk about some of those things. So we look forward to having that conversation later next month when we focus on love and relationships in February. So thank you. Lisa Santiago, thank you for hanging out with me in the cafe. It's been an amazing journey, and I've enjoyed our conversation. Can you tell the audience where they can get more information and where to find you?
Absolutely. The easiest place to go is my website. I am lisasantiago.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Lisa Santiago McNeil, and you can find me in the clubhouse at I am Lisa Santiago. So I look forward to connecting with you in any of those ways.
All right. Well, thank you for being my guest. I appreciate you. And as I mentioned, y'all, she has her own podcast that she does, and she also does things to support and encourage women network. So check her out and submit yourselves to the information that she has to offer. So thank you. As always,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Lisa. I'm sorry. Hugs and
Absolutely.
kisses.
Thank you so much for letting me hang out with you, Soy.
Oh, thank you, Chica. Thank you, Chica. And I want to invite the guests to visit coffeetalkwithsoy.com. Don't forget to visit the website and place your comments about how you enjoyed the show using our contact form. If you're interested in being a guest to share a product service with the audience, feel free to fill out the form and we will get in touch with you and get you booked. That's what we do here. That's what we do. Don't forget to also visit our business directory to submit yourself. We are bringing forth a network called The Grind, where other entrepreneurs can partner with each other and build up each other and provide services to one another. So list your service there and stay tuned for more information to come on the Grind Network opportunity. All right. I did not share my I am affirmation, and I know it's a little late in the game, but I do want to share it because I think it's relevant. And in the event someone needs to lean on this for the rest of the week, let me just read this to you real quickly. I am strong because I know my weakness. I am beautiful because I know my flaws. I am wise because I learned my mistakes. I am. That is your I am affirmation for the week. All right, y'all, it's been amazing as always and an enlightened show. Please share the show with others. As always, have a great week. I look forward to seeing you all right here next week on Coffee Talk with Soy, your new morning show. Go out there and be great. Because you are awesome. Yes, you are.
I just love this show, Coffee Talk with Soy. That is your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. I'd like to thank the listeners and the guests for joining me in the cafe today. What a wonderful time we had. Yes, indeed. Don't forget to download the app Coffee Talk with Soy from your app store. It's available on iTunes and Google Play. Stay connected, folks, by visiting the website coffeetalkwithsoy.com, as well as looking for us under your social media sites. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name Coffee Talk with Soy. Remember, the size of the problem is never the issue. Remember, it's the size of you. Be great because you are awesome. Tell them Soy said so. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.